Thank you.
Ask if I could take your photo.
Sure.
Welcome back to our worldwide audience. It's James Kalm, your half-assed reporter. Special shout out to our viewers in Portugal, Santa Cruz, and Thailand. We're going to change things up a little bit today. We're going to run into the Zwirner Gallery. And we're going to take a look at a museum quality show. And we're going to try to get some pictures of this Albers and Morandi. Never finished. Well, I know there are going to be some viewers that are going to love this. Some people are more into the Albers side of things, and others are into the Morandi side of things. Well, I think that Albers is probably a little younger. Hello. We'll just make our initial walkthrough. Some interesting framing designs. Okay, well, we'll start here. And again, I've got to keep diddling with my phone here to get the names and the descriptions. This is by Joseph Albers. Study to homage to the square quiescent. This is 1952 oil on masonite, 16 by 16 inches. Well, I think one of the things I noticed about this show is that normally when I think of Albers, I think of him using some fairly pure spectral colors, but it's like a lot of this is in the browns and beiges and grays. Some Morandi. Pittura Metafisica, this is 1959, 10 and 8 by 16 inches. Well, it's always a thrill to get a chance to see some Morandis in real life. People have started to look into his backstory a little more. I guess they're getting a little shocked. But I guess if you were in Italy in the 30s and 40s, there was a lot of complex things happening. So homage to the square. This is 1968. Oil on masonite, 15 by 15.
Do you know the date on this one?
1915.
Did you catch any other shows in Chelsea today?
Not yet, but I'm trying to keep moving. This is kind of an odd Morandi, very early. Fiori, 1915. I guess maybe one of the reasons they decided to pair these two painters is that both of them are dealing with the ideas of color, but most specifically, I think, with tone. And well, like I was saying, these Albers with all the browns, so you've got the burnt sienna, burnt umber. I don't think that's even the middle square is just a dark brown. I don't think that's black. More homage to the square. This is 1964 homage, 18 by 18. Well, I know that Joseph Albers, I think, came to the United States and was teaching down at Black Mountain College, kind of a radical experimental school. I think it was in North Carolina. And at some point he left there and went to Yale and spent maybe 25 years there with his wife, Annie. Oh, this is a beautiful little piece. It's my Nature Morta. This is 9 1/4 by 12 1/4. This is from 1939. And gosh, we even get a little bit of the blue in there. Well, I'm sorry it's been a while since our last visit. Between the holidays, major snowstorm, the election craziness, and just the bad weather. And I've been working on some great things in the studio. I haven't had a chance to get out and run around as much as I normally do. How much of the square? This is 1950. And again, okay, so I can see that they're actually kind of riffing on these. So we just looked at a Morandi that had a little touches of blue. Here we've got the blue basic rectangle. I think one of the great things about Albers and his teaching, he influenced a lot of great artists, not the least of which was Robert Rauschenberg, was that Albers understood that color was nothing without a contrast against another color. Maybe not a contrast, but a harmony. Oh, let's start over here. Looking at a watercolor. Still life. This is a Morandi from 1960. 7 by 9 1/2 inches. Okay, you don't get much more essential than that. You just throw down your few little blocks of negative space and that's it. Also makes me think a little bit of Cézanne. Still life with white bottle and small blue bottle. Well, if my memory serves me, I believe that Morandi came from a family of, well, many children, but mostly I think he had like 4 or 5 sisters. And I'm kind of looking at this and thinking that gosh, these bottles almost take on a anthropomorphic character. Geez, you can almost see the dust on some of these bottles. Beautiful piece. Still life, 1953. oil on canvas 11 by 13. Framed. This might be shocking, but people asked Andy Warhol once who his favorite artist was or who influenced him the most, and he said Morandi. Okay, let's look at this. Okay, so you wouldn't think much about this, but this is actually like Who's Afraid of Red, Yellow, and Blue. I think one of the things I like about him is that the work is so spare. It's so kind of minimal. And I know that he influenced a lot of people like Philip Guston as well. Oh, this is great. Let's look at this suite. Homage to the square white aura. Okay. Wow, there are slight color variations. It would be wonderful to have one of these in your home. You could see how it changes colors during the day and under different conditions. Again, oil on masonite, 40 by 40. It's also kind of a strange neutral or silent quality to painting on the masonite. The other joke about masonite is, you know what they call it down south? Dixonite. This is a study for Homage to the Square, 1964. This is 24 by 24. Also, I guess I've seen this in the photographs, but I wasn't really paying attention that much that all of these pieces have about a 1/4 of an inch white margin on them. And yeah, gosh, that central rectangle, just because of the colors that are surrounding it, kind of takes on a mauve color tint. And we better get moving. I guess you can guess the name of this one. Study for Homage to the Square. 16 by 16. Albers really was dealing with subtleties of color that is so fine you actually would have to spend well, at least several minutes to let your eyes adjust to the color and the harmonies. Natura Morta, it's 1957, 10 by 14. I never noticed his signature was always so prominent before. And again, we've got our little sections of color in there. And, well, I like the tacks on the side of the stretcher. Okay, are we paying attention? Those color harmonies are almost, or at least very close to the yellows and grays in this piece. 1946, 10 by 16. Homage to the square. Oh, and he gets poetic here. In Ivory Mist, 1964. This is 18 by 18. I guess there must be hundreds of these homage to the square pieces. He's changing it up a little bit here. It's 1965, 24 by 24. And I like the two horizontal bands of darker tinted gray. Keep moving. This is a beautiful piece. 1954, 12 by 17 inches. $1955, oil on canvas. Okay, yeah, those squiggly shadow forms look like they're straight out of a Philip Guston painting. And I'm not sure, but I think that Philip Guston went and spent some time in Rome, maybe in the early 50s, and was thoroughly familiar with Morandi's work. Okay, we'll just run down this wall of homages. I think these are all 14 by 14. Okay, it would be interesting to know his, what kind of brushing that he was using in mediums and things. Mostly they look like they've held up pretty well. Okay, I just was looking at this and thinking of a show we came in and saw here maybe a couple of months ago, a Susan Freecon show. And, well, she was doing paintings that were dealing a lot with color and large flat areas of color, bold contrasts of color. It's 15 by 15. Actually, it's 15 and 7/8 by 15 and 7/8. I don't want to cheat you on that one. Oh my gosh, we got some of the great Morandi etchings. Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, I think that maybe about 15 or 20 years ago, they had a Morandi show at the Met And I think they featured a lot of his etchings. This is still life with 11 objects around, 1942. Etching on paper. This is 10.5 by 10.5. Well, okay, I have to say that Morandi's a wonderful painter, but he is a real master of the etching and the cross-hatching. Nature Mort with 4 objects and 3 bottles. Well, Cloud, I hope you're enjoying this. It's one of my subscribers, and we've been communicating for probably about 14 or 15 years. He's a big Morandi fan and a Philip Guston fan. Large still life with lamp on the right. (1928). Well, that is as nice and rich as any Dutch Baroque still life, or maybe the Belgian Baroque still lifes. Great light quality. Okay. An unusual Albers, Untitled, variant Adobe, 23 by 35. This is about the juiciest color one that we've seen so far. He's got some nice green tones. And, well, one of the reasons that I was talking about Susan Freecon is that I think some of the first work of hers that I saw 12 or 14 years ago, she was dealing with a lot of earth tones, ochres, siennas, and they had the wonderful quality of some kind of fine leather object. Large still life with lamp on the right. Okay. Large still life with coffee pot. Again, the use of the cross-hatching is really extraordinary. And I've done some etching. Gosh, this is technically a real achievement. Got some more here. Still life. This is 9 1/8 by 11, 1930. Gosh, now I can see that Morandi must have had a collection of particular bottles, and some of them he employs more than others. Large circular still life with bottle and 3 objects, 1946. Etching on paper, 10 by 12 inches. still life with computer, long bottle, and fluted bottle. And I like his little tag, this little plate that he's etched in there at the bottom. Still life with 5 objects. 1956. Plate size is 5.5 by 8 inches. Okay, well, it's getting late, so we'll just slide down the walls. This is Homage to the Square, 1961, 32 by 32. And it's always interesting the way to see how he's structured his compositions. He's always kind of leaving a larger space at the top and kind of smudging the forms down at the bottom. Almost like gravity was pulling down the squares. This is Homage to the Square. This is 15 by 15. Oh geez, he's actually getting a little brushy in the middle here. (1965), 15 7/8 by 15 7/8. Gosh, I would just say it's 16, but oh my. Oh, here's a lovely little Morandi. Flowers, 1947. This is 11.5 by 8.5. Oh gosh, I like the way he's taken the little nails and just bent them over. (1956). Uh-oh. This is casein on masonite, and I was saying, geez, call out the guards. He's getting a little brushy here. This is getting scary, huh? Actually, I've had people that were looking at some of my paintings and they're going, oh gee, they're great, but the colors are so old looking. It's like retro colors. And well, I look at something like this and wonder, gee, do we really live in a time where colors are somehow connected to a particular epic paradigm, a particular time period? Maybe. What time does that say to you? Homage to Square, 1954. This is oil and casein on masonite, 12 by 12. I don't know, I guess that does say 1954. And I kind of like the frame. All right, we're coming into the back stretch. (1954). 15 3/4 by 15 3/4. oil on masonite. And yeah, I was talking about how the frames were interesting. If you were to take the visual space of that painting, I would bet that the frame actually takes up more than 50% of the visual plane. And it becomes a very important part of the composition. Okay, now we get to see some Morandi drawings. Still life with fruit bowl. Pencil and paper, 1948, 8 by 12. It looks like there might be something on the back side of this that's bleeding through. More flowers. So much in 1954, 12 by 12. Okay, now, this one we've actually got 4 squares of color that he's laying in there. And yeah, that's multiplies the color readings by another 25%. Homage 1954, oil masonite, 12 by 12. Okay, I think Ed Reinhardt might have been looking at Joseph Albers as well. Maybe Albers was even looking at Reinhardt. Okay, we're going to finish up looking at this major homage to the square. Homage to the square embedded 1963. This is 48 by 48. I can't really say much more than I already have. It's been James Kalm reporting on Albers and Morandi, Never Finished. You can like this, share, link it up at all your social media sites, and you can subscribe. And you can leave your thoughts, ideas, comments, criticisms, and reviews below. I have to say that I've been impressed with a lot of the responses we've been getting recently. So let's hope 2021 leads to a more full conversation. Good luck, and remember, we always say at the end of these, thank you, Kate. Thank you, Helen. It is Helen, or is it just the accordion named Helen?
No, it's my name too.
You're Helen.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, Helen.